Yeah, what's up? It's your girl, She the Truth, aka the voice of the streets, and you already know what time it is. It's tea time. What's happening? It's tea time. Let go. Now, before we get started, you already know I gotta hit y'all with this disclaimer. Everything on my YouTube channel is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Now, let's get right into it. Now, today we're gonna break down the timeline of Shanquella Robinson. Yeah, we gonna go ahead and break down this timeline from what they've been giving us. Let's get started, because I got a lot to say. Let go. Alright, so we gonna go ahead and break down this timeline from Shanquella Robinson going on this Cabo trip with 6 snakes. I'm not gonna call them her friends, because they weren't her friends. They was her enemies from the jump. Now, from what Nasir says, he arrived, his plane landed at 3. He got to the villa around 3:26. Now, this is what Nasir says in his video. Now, he was the one that was trying to explain that when he got there, he went and ran to her side. He started rubbing her head and playing Summer Walker. But she was unresponsive. Now, this is what he said. But let's break this timeline down, because some just ain't right, y'all. And we all know that. Now, the document stated that Winter Donovan, she called for a non-life-threatening emergency to the villa at 2:13 p.m. Now, the first autopsy says that Shanquella passed away from the fatal blow that took place at 2:45, and she was unalive 15 minutes later. Now, some ain't adding up, y'all. Because if Winter Donovan called for a non-life-threatening emergency to the villa at 2:13, but the autopsy says that Shanquella received her fatal blow at 2:45 p.m., which means after Winter called for non-life-threatening emergency, somebody was still in there beating on that girl for 30 to 40 minutes after she called for somebody to come help at the villa. But then, when y'all call for a non-life-threatening emergency, y'all are telling the doctors or the nurse that she has alcohol poisoning. So mind you, they trying to treat her for alcohol poisoning. But let's go ahead and break this timeline down, because it still don't make sense. But we about to make it make sense today. Because, yeah, you got a smart one right here, baby. All right? Now, if Nasir got there at 3:26, he stated that they told him that a nurse was on the way. But in the paperwork, it says that the nurse got there an hour after Winter Donovan called at 2:13. That means she would have arrived around 3:13, right? But she couldn't have got there around 3:13 if Nasir said he got there and they told him that the nurse was coming. Now, she was unresponsive when Nasir got there and he noticed that she had blood inside one of her eyes. That means he had to lift her eyes up to open them. while he trying to get her to respond and see what's going on. So there's no way possible that the nurse arrived after him and she was working on Shanquella for 3 additional hours. Y'all gotta make it make sense. Then these no good snakes called the mama and let the mama know that, oh, Shanquella, she's not feeling well. We think she got alcohol poisoning. Yeah, we'll call you back and let you know if anything else takes place. The mama she said, okay. A couple minutes later, they called the mother back and stated that they needed $5,000 in order to take her to the hospital. Okay. Make it make sense, y'all. 2 + 2 is not 4 right now. And I don't care what none of y'all talking about. None of this makes sense. Now, unless y'all got that nurse in there, they said Shanquella came with over $10,000 in cash. But none of that was taken back to her mama house. Y'all had all of Shanquella Robinson things. Nobody else had them. Y'all had them. Because y'all left from the villa. Y'all took her stuff with y'all. So that means that y'all already done stole the girl money that she came with to have a good time with y'all. But y'all didn't want to give the nurse the so-called $5,000 that they needed to take her to the hospital. You could have gave that nurse that $5,000 out, Shanquella Robinson money, that all y'all split amongst each other. I know y'all split it amongst each other. Because y'all broke, you're bitter, you're envious, you're jealous, all of the above. Y'all was mad at the fact that this young lady was doing her thing. And sad to say, she was just naive to the fact that she thought that y'all was her friends. But you really was her enemies. Now, after the mama stated that she wasn't about to send y'all no $5,000 to take her daughter to the hospital because her daughter had insurance already. So what was y'all really doing for 3 hours in that villa with the so-called nurse? If she was trying to get her 15 rounds of CPR, she know by her being a nurse that she was supposed to immediately take that young lady to the hospital. But y'all insisted that y'all wanted her to treat Shanquella there at the villa. But how can she treat Shanquella when y'all giving her false information? Y'all know there was nothing to do with alcohol poisoning. And then, in the report, it stated that Shanquella had bruises all up and down her back. That further lets me know that y'all beat that girl out her sleep if she had bruises all up and down her back. You beat her out her sleep. That's why she wasn't fighting back. She was already hurt. When Khalil stated, oh, You not gonna fight back? Or something? The way she said no. That no sounded to me like she was emotionally hurt. She was spiritually hurt. Knowing that y'all supposed to be her friends and y'all done turned on her. She was in the house with nothing but wolves. Nothing but wolves. And even if she would have fought back, if all y'all surrounding her and all y'all against her, all of y'all was going to be sitting there beating on her, even if she got the best of the girl, Dejanay. She didn't want to fight back because she felt like y'all was her friends. Why should I have to fight my friends? Just evil. Pure evil. Then Nasir had a nerve to state that this was his birthday trip and he wasn't able to have no type of fun, no nothing. How could you? You already know when you got there what had happened to her. But let's be realistic, y'all. Let's be realistic. Maybe he wasn't there when they was beating on her and he got there afterwards. So himself, if he didn't know what had taken place and he was in the blind himself, Nasir, let's just say, his life could have been in danger as well. I'm just saying. If you go in there and you see that one of your friends is unalive and there's 6 other individuals in the house that's not unalived, what you think they gonna do to him? If he get to talking all crazy and sideways out the neck. So he played his part. And he waited until he wasn't around them no more and he was back in the States. And he let everybody know, look, I ain't had nothing to do with that. My plane arrived a day later than everybody else. My plane arrived at 3 o'clock. I got here a little after 3. She was already unresponsive. So he pretty much let us know what was going on before we really know what was going on, because he was the only one talking about the nurse. Why y'all not talking about the nurse? Why ain't nobody talking about this nurse that came? He was very adamant about that. So I believe Nasir, he probably was in the blind, but they did tell him what had occurred. But he himself, he had to keep himself safe to get off and in there around them snakes. I'm just saying. Y'all leave a comment down below and let me know how y'all feel about the conversation. Like, share, subscribe. Let go.